What is up, everybody? Welcome back to High School Never Ends, a Pop Punk Dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
You are Wingman Steve.
I just want to make that clear.
Who am I, though?
I think you're the best of Chris.
I'm Chris 183. I was going to introduce you. You introduced me. It could have been a new thing. Maybe next time.
Yeah, let's
welcome everybody.
Cut that. We'll do that again.
Welcome everybody to another show, and what a special show, Steve. I know I say that all the time, but it really is this time. It really, really is a very special show.
You say that every time too.
Yeah, but it's true.
It's always special. We're special.
It is, because we're in a really special month, Steve. We are in a month where we listen to live music. We listen to live versions of songs. We listen to live albums. We listen to live albums that aren't on Spotify. We listen to live albums that are on YouTube or other things. But hey, it's called HSNE Kills It Live. And this week, we're going to deep dive into a brand new album, not brand new to us, but brand new to the show, by the title of Somebody's Gonna Miss Us. And yes, that's right. If you didn't know, this is the band, The Starting Line.
I love you, Kenny.
And this is live from Steve's hometown.
It's not my hometown. It's where I currently reside. Yes, live from the Electric Factory in Philadelphia. It's not even the Electric Factory anymore.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
It's now called the Franklin Music Hall.
You live there. It's your hometown.
Hometown is where you grew up.
Your home is where you're at right now, though.
I mean, that is true, but I don't consider it my hometown. It's my current town.
You can eat bacon, egg, and cheese anywhere you want. That's the bottom line.
It's not as good here as in New York. But yes, we're listening to a very special record. Somebody's Gonna Miss Us, live from the Electric Factory. You mentioned it. Everybody, sorry, we picked this, and it's not on Spotify or streaming services anywhere, but you can watch it. You can watch the album, the entire thing, the video. You can listen to it on YouTube. I remember I bought this. I think I had the CD, or I bought it digitally. I have no idea. But I definitely had this like on my computer, which is where I listen to music. So maybe a little bit of extra effort. But if you've been to a Starting Line show, you pretty much know what you're going to get, right? And we've been to Starting Line shows, and this is a very special one, Chris.
Were you at the Starting Line show?
I was not. I was at this tour. I was at this tour when it was in State College, Pennsylvania, because the reason why I say this is special is that essentially what Starting Line did is after Direction came out, they basically said, we're going to do one more tour. We're going to kick everybody's asses, and then we're calling it a day. We're not really going to be a band anymore. And they did some reunion shows here or there, but this is like their final tour. So perfectly titled, Somebody's Gonna Miss Us. They also have a song called Somebody's Gonna Miss Us, but they also decided they're going to record it live, have it be an album, have it be a DVD, and it's in their hometown. This is where they grew up, of Philadelphia.
And yours.
And where I live, yes.
Which is the hometown.
Which is the town I live in, yes. City.
It's the town you call home.
That is true.
So listen, this is a show. So I'm surprised you weren't there, though. So that's
well, I wasn't in Philadelphia.
Even if you weren't in Philadelphia, it's not that far away.
It's not my hometown.
And
but it played in State College. That's where I lived at the time.
You were still in college in 2008?
No, but I lived in State College until 2009. After I graduated, I decided to stick around because I loved it so much, and so I got to see this there.
After I graduated, I had some guy take my apartment sublease, and then he was kind of a jerk. I think his name was Thad.
Did he mess up your place, or he didn't pay your rent, or what?
And then he wouldn't give me the security deposit back.
That's rough. I did actually, right after I graduated, I subletted from somebody, and then I got an apartment. Actually, it was funny. I qualified. I lived in this place. It's technically low income housing, and because I was a student the prior year, and I didn't really have much income, I qualified, but then I got a job, and obviously I made enough money where I wouldn't have qualified, but because I qualified initially, I lived in this place. It was a 3-bedroom apartment for like $700 a month. It was awesome.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Between like 3 guys, or you on your own?
No, either 2 of us or 3 of us, and there were 3 bedrooms, so it was perfect. So we were paying like, what was that divided by 3? I don't know, $200 something a month.
Not very much.
No, it was awesome. But so I was still in town when this tour came through. I said goodbye to the starting line. I said goodbye to our buddy Ken. And I was present for this tour, just not this particular performance, but it was the same set list.
Yeah. So the question is that you saw it. I don't know if you remember that long ago. You probably do. Was it the same experience or very similar of an experience? Did they put on the same show that we're going to talk about tonight?
Yeah, they put on the same show. I saw it. The place I saw it was a very small venue. Again, if you didn't go to Penn State, you won't know any of these things. But if you remember, there was a bar called Tony's Big Easy. It was on the first floor. And then on the second floor, there was like a second bar up there. I don't even know what it was called. It changed names a few times. And that's where it was. It wasn't even at the Crowbar or anything like that. It was at like a very small venue. So it was an intimate show, but essentially it was the same. I'm pretty sure it was the same exact set list.
I don't think I ever stepped foot into that one. I don't think the Big Easy. I want to say that we never went there.
It wasn't a particularly popular establishment. It seemed like maybe it was geared towards, folks that were a little bit older than, 21, 22, 23, but it's not there anymore. It's whatever it is now. They made it a Sheets.
We just went to the Gaff. That's it.
That's my least favorite bar.
Oh, that's the best.
I hate it.
I will debate you on the show about why it's the best. So we could do that another time.
Gross.
Why is it gross? There's $5 pictures of Captain and Coke.
We just used to call it
pictures of Miller Lite.
Sweaty Gaff because it was just so sweaty and nasty.
What more could you want?
They have that everywhere.
No, they didn't. Not that cheap.
I remember having $5 Bacardi pitchers.
G-Man was like $10. There's no way.
Well, there were lots of places you could get the specials.
Not that cheap. Even if you go to the saloon, it's still more expensive. And Monkey Boys were like $15 a piece.
Yeah, but all you need is one and you're a madman.
I had 3 one time.
Wow. Blackout City.
That was a bad day. But we could have a whole show on that, Steve. Maybe we should. But today, let's talk about this album. Let's talk about this band. Let's talk about this album. Anything else about the live starting line? Or we could get into our fandom of this band, but haven't we kind of already been there?
Yeah, we've definitely covered that like a million times. I'm a huge fan. Been a fan since they first started. Loved them from when their first EP came out up until today. And this band there's a chance that they might be my all-time like most seen band. I'm doing a quick search. I think I've seen them approximately 23 times. So I am no stranger to the show that they put on. And this is one that's great. Even if you've never gotten to see the show, you get to see an epic see and hear. Okay. So it's did you watch it or did you just listen to it?
Oh, I watched it.
You watched it? Okay. So if you just search on YouTube, it's a video. So it was the DVD. But you get to see exactly what they're like live. You get to hear what they're like live, and you get to see the crowd. And it's like this epic, like goodbye type tour where Ken and the band, they're just like, they're super grateful. They're happy. Not that they're not always like that, but it was a special tour for sure. Oh, the place was called Lulu's. That's where I saw it. And oh, look at this. Opening for them was Bayside, 4 Years Strong, and Steel Train.
Steel Train?
Yeah.
We talked about Steel Train, didn't we?
That was one where we were going to do an album spotlight and I couldn't listen to it. We changed our minds.
But you watched them live and you probably liked them.
I don't know.
Lulu's? So it wasn't Tony's Big Easy?
I told you it's above Tony's Big Easy. You have to go up the stairs to get there. It's not from the inside.
I think we just called it the Big Easy.
That's what the downstairs was.
Yeah. I don't remember Tony's. Did you like the fact that, and I don't remember really if you were a huge fan, I'm sure you are, but based on a true story, did you like that album? And did you like that there was a good mix of songs from this in this particular show? I understand the timing, but just your opinion.
I'm a fan of Boats, as it's commonly called. There were, as are most starting line shows, Say It Like You Mean It is usually overrepresented because that was their first album and so many people love it. But after that, they had 5 songs from Boats, they had 5 songs from Direction, and this tour was right after Direction came out. Is Boats my favorite starting line album? It's not, but I thoroughly enjoy it. I mean, Starting Line, and we've said this before, is a band where you can very, very clearly see a trajectory from Say It Like You Mean It to Boats to Direction and then to Eternal Youth, 18 years later. But you can see them growing as a band and hear them growing as a band. So I did like it, absolutely, but it's not my favorite record.
Yeah. So I'll ask you about the mix as we get through this. That was all the questions I had. Anything else you wanted to talk about before we go into the music?
No. So the album itself was recorded in 2008, but it came out, released in November 10th, 2009 on Image Entertainment. Again, it's a 2-disc live video album, and it was recorded at their final hometown show at the Electric Factory in Philly in 2008. And we have 18 tracks. There's no studio anything after it. It's just straight up. If you were at this show, this is what you hear. So they're killing it live, and we're gonna kill it live talking about it.
Oh, so this was their last show?
It was during their last tour. I don't think this was the actual final show of the tour.
Do you know where the last show would have been?
I'd have to do some research on
I just
where
didn't
the
know if you
tour
knew it.
ended.
I didn't know if you knew the trivia. Just
I don't.
saying.
Failure.
Not quite, but all right. Let's get into it then.
All right, let's give a quick shout out to our patrons: Chris P, Punkish Dad's friend and Punkish Dad, Punk Rock Mom, Jeff, Tom, Ashley, Jason, Sam, Chris W, Nick, Steve C, and Steve Kelly. Thank you guys, and we'll tell you if you want to sign up for our Patreon at the end where you can do that. So somebody's gonna miss us. Everybody did miss them. They did this thing right, man. I love that. If you're gonna actually stop being a band to just do one killer, be like, we acknowledge we are going to stop, and you get one last chance to come see us in the closest place you can. They did it, and Yellow Card did it. I don't know that I can think of anybody else that did that, but I just think that's a cool thing to do for your fans.
Sure.
Be upfront about it. Don't just break up and you never see them again or anything like that. You be upfront. You tell them everybody can go see this show, see multiple shows, and rock it out. And now you can listen to it.
It's bittersweet, and I also think that it's probably impossible to get tickets. Although no, they had a pretty large popularity base, I'm sure, at this point in time. So, well, let's just chat about that for a quick second. 2008. This is a bit of a winding down of the traditional of the height of pop punk. Sure.
This is a very transitionary period. New Found Glory, we did their album last week, and they talked about in whatever it was, 2013 or something, that, pop punk's not dead. You have to say that because pop punk was kind of dead, and they went out at the right time. So I don't know if ticket sales were booming. And I think that Starting Line shows nowadays, because they're less frequent, do sell very well. But I don't know that I had a problem getting a ticket.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm going off of what I saw in the video, and I'm sure that Philly's going to draw a huge crowd because, they're from there, and, they're Starting Line. So, mix those two things together. It doesn't matter. You're still close enough to the height of pop punk in 2008, especially those that are really big fans of this band. And you could tell that too, because not that it doesn't happen in every show where people know all the words, but it looked like there were a lot of people that knew a lot of the words every song. And when they pan the crowd, I mean, I don't know. I've never been to the Electric Company or whatever it is.
The Waterworks.
But it looked like it was packed front to back. They made it look like it was packed if it wasn't, but I'd imagine that it was.
It was packed because you can see the Electric Factory has, a floor area. It goes all the way to the back, and you could always tell when they pan to the crowd, there is one area where a pit would form, but you can also see up on the sides, there's bars up there, and you can overlook, and you can see there's rows of people watching, and that's how you know that it's a packed show when there's multiple, lines of people up on the balcony.
Now, you've been to the Electric Factory many times, correct?
Yes, I have.
Have you made your way to the very front?
Let me think. Nowadays, absolutely not. I stay a little bit close to the bar. I do like the perched up views on the balconies, but I've definitely been in the front 25% at some point. Yeah.
Did you get there early and stand in the front, or did you make your way to the front?
I don't think we were there that early. No, we would just kind of, finagle our way, excuse me, get up as close as we can. But I've never been, I don't think, up against the barricade there.
I always like the people that do that. And I've been that person maybe once or twice, because eventually when you get to where you want to get to, you're probably going to be right in front of somebody's face. But I guess it's something that you just kind of expect. I don't know.
The problem with getting up that close, again, this is old man talking, is that, whenever whoever's in your group, however many people, call it 4 people, whenever like 1 or 2 people need to do, there's always going to be something that somebody has to do, right? Go to the bathroom, get a beer, whatever it is. Anytime somebody leaves, you have the rest of the people left there have the daunting task of holding down the spot. So whether that's, like spreading your legs wide and your arms wide to try and keep your your geography, it always can be difficult.
I never even bother doing that ever, even younger. Like if we go to the front, first of all, you're not going anywhere. If you go anywhere, you're probably not getting back for a while. Never send anybody for a beer. It's like, and usually you get separated because you have to go with the crowd, because the crowd goes with you. So it's like if they're swaying to the right, you're going to the right, and so on and so forth. And it's a cool feeling. It's also a scary feeling too, because you have no control over where you're going. So it kind of goes both ways, but especially again in packed scenarios like that, definitely probably the case. The thing you got to watch out for is people crowd surfing, and when you don't look behind you or don't see it, you definitely could take one to the back of the head.
That's happened many times. Definitely gotten hit by crowd surfers, by stage divers, and never really get like too mad at people because nobody's trying to hurt anybody. But it does suck when you get accidentally injured like that.
When a 230-pound guy comes around, and just he's a little bit tougher to keep it going.
Yeah. You gotta just do your best.
Mm-hmm. But there'll be a little bit of that we talk about during this too.
All right. So we got 17 tracks here. We started off with Given the Chance, which is from Say It Like You Mean It. We start the show off. We see the band for the first time. Very 2008 Ken. He's wearing a plaid sweater and a long sleeve shirt. He's got the floppy hair, not like super floppy like now, but it's floppy. He's looking really happy. I don't know how you do a show in a sweater and a long sleeve shirt. Like that just seems like it's a recipe.
You sweat like you
disaster.
You see how much he was sweating. Like it was pouring out.
He loses the sweater vest at some point, but he's got a good look to him. This is a great song to kick off the set. It's a song that talks about wanting to play live in front of an audience. I love that, the actual lyric is say hello to Jersey, but in this version, he says, say hello to Philly. Like, I think he should do that for every city that he goes to and just pander to them a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I love that he says Philly instead of Jersey, even though Jersey, Philly is somewhat interchangeable. He does a great job. One thing I love about seeing the starting line live, and this is complete departure from Newfound Glory that we talked about last week. Ken does a great job. He altering his lyrics and his delivery just a little bit. So it's not exactly like it sounds on the record. It's not a carbon copy. Every time you see them, lyrics might be slightly delayed or extended or sung a little faster. It's very, very cool. He just, man, he's got it, man. And one other thing that really shined, and again, I'm kind of comparing it to last week, is that Starting Line does a great job with background harmonies. Multiple band members sing harmonies behind him. So even though it doesn't sound like the album, you're really getting a fantastic sound. And Given the Chance is an awesome way to kick off this show.
Yeah, I think it was a good choice of a song to kick off this concert. It's a very familiar track off of Say It Like You Mean It that I think is definitely, in my opinion, one of the stronger ones. I thought it sounded pretty good. I thought musically the song sounded the way that I would expect it to at a live performance. Keep in mind, guys, that I've only seen this band a couple times, so I'm not going to have the critical eye in terms of the the extenuated or extension of lyrics or anything like Steve said. Like I'm not gonna be able to see that, but what I can do is just basically evaluate it at face value. And again, the sound here pretty good. I am going to be a little bit critical though. I don't think Kenny is the cleanest here. I don't. I think that he comes out a little flat with some of the notes and some of the singing. Definitely has energy. Not saying it was bad. I'm just saying there was a little bit of flatness out there in the way that he was singing. I picked it up right away, and it didn't ruin the song. I think that the song carries itself. So I think just like any other live performance where maybe the singer has a couple flat notes here and there, maybe comes off a little rough at the beginning, you don't really care. You're in the moment. It's the first song. You're so pumped up and hyped up for it that that's all you're really focused on. So I think he gets away with it here, and it ends up being a really great opener.
Hell yeah. All right. Go on to Greg's Last Day.
I don't know this song. I don't know what album it's on, or I don't know if I've heard it.
This is from their. This is the only song that's not on one of the three, LPs. It's from their EP with hopes of starting over.
Got it.
But it's a cult favorite. It's a cult classic.
You could tell. You could. I mean, the reaction was there. I think, I think it was a good song to follow up, given the chance with in terms of, tempo and just the fun nature of the song. So this is where I noticed that the crowd was just nuts. They kept panning to the crowd here, and it was just insane. So a ton of people that were into it. He shouted out Philly for sure. I really didn't have much to say about the song itself, though. So I just thought it was a strong choice to follow up number one, for the reasons I gave.
Yeah, so this is a song that I would say of all those times that I've seen the starting line, it's not played in every set, but it is played in a lot of them. I love that on their Goodbye tour, they throw in a real old one here. And this is the one to pick, like for sure. I personally have always had a very strong personal connection with this song because it's about your best friend moving away to Ohio, which is the worst state ever. But my best friends from high school, two of my best friends from high school, right after we graduated, moved away. They moved to Florida. So this song always reminded me of my friends that moved away. And I love this song. The crowd, he gives the crowd, we go, stay, he gives the crowd that line, and you can see and you can hear the actual audience singing. It sounds fantastic. It's another one of these songs, and I mentioned this in the last episode, that sounds a little harder in concert than it does on the record. It sounds like it's like a harder song, whereas, this is really early starting line. This is like the bubblegum pop punk, if you want to call it that. And in the middle of this, Ken calls for a circle pit. He tells people to jump up, and they do. The crowd does. They go bonkers here, and they should, because Greg's Last Day should be a staple that should be in every one of their sets, and I will be here for it every time.
All right, keep it going.
All right, third song. Almost there, going nowhere. So we're still early starting line here. Say It Like You Mean It. One thing that I notice throughout this record, I will mention it multiple times. This is the first time that it really stood out to me. The Brian on the keyboards, the keys or the piano, whatever you want to call them, they're very light, but when you pay attention to them, they're very, very good, and they complement the song very well. The drums kill in this one. The crowd gets to sing the part where he goes, "Say It Like You Mean It." That's the titular of that album, even though that's not the name of the song. Very crowd jumpy chorus. I try to stay awake. I will say all those positive things. We're gonna get into the construction of the set list at some point in time. This might have been one that I substitute for something else, but nevertheless, great song and sounded good on the album.
You substitute this one? Why?
because there are other songs that are missing.
Isn't that always the case, though?
I know. And, you know, there's one. There's a glaring one, glaring me in the face that is missing. And so every time I hear something where I'm like, why is that one not here? It makes me go, maybe we should substitute.
It would have been a terrible question for Kenny to ask him that, but you should have asked him that.
Well,
hey,
listen, these guys have to come up with a set list, right? There's going to be some asshole like me who fucking has a problem no matter what.
but I don't need your justification. I want to hear his. Like,
right.
What did he? Because I mean, they probably it could just be it's probably not random, but it could be a little bit of randomness. Like, okay, let's just do this one because I feel good about it tonight. You don't
or
know.
It could be like, our guitars are in this key or in this, the tuning is like this and it fits better kind of thing.
But I also think that they didn't make this decision night after night because you're telling me it was the same show that you saw in State College versus the show we saw here. So chances are it was the same show for the entirety of the tour. Where that's not always the case for every single band.
I think so.
Some bands, they mix it up.
I'm actually gonna try and pull the set list. We'll see. Go ahead.
So I don't think I have much. You touched on a lot of my points. Like I love that drum intro in this song. Again, the crowd gets super involved in this one. I think Kenny definitely kicks up the intensity. And by the way, by song 3, I don't hear that. That criticism that I gave in track 1 or song 1. I think he's totally on point when you get to this point. And I really like this song. I'm a fan of this one off of Say It Like You Mean It. So that probably helps too. And I did note also here is that, that sweater vest. That's where I really noticed the sweater vest and how it has to be like, basically like you run a towel under the faucet of a shower and just run it, or you just throw it in a bathtub full of water. Like that had to weigh like 50 pounds on them. The amount of sweat. I don't see the point unless it gets cool in there, which I doubt it. But
by the way, the day after my show that I saw this tour, which there is no set list for on setlist.fm, they played at Mr. Small's.
Wow. Okay. I guess Mr. Smalls was a thing back then. Because I was seeing Mr. Smalls shows much earlier than that. I can't remember though. I guess I'm trying to think of the earliest Smalls shows. Oh, it had to be in the early 2000s. So, yeah. So isn't that something?
And this was, just to answer your earlier question, this was the third to last date on the tour. After this, they went up to Massachusetts and then they ended in Washington, D.C.
So I could have seen this at Mr. Smalls.
You could have. That's true.
You never know. I could have been out of town. Yeah, so that's all I got there for that one. And we'll move it into direction. I think this song's just overall, first of all, like the performance and the song is fantastic. I'm a huge fan of the direction, the song. It's titular off the album. I don't think that really matters to me, to be honest with you, because I didn't listen to a ton of Direction in 2007, but I love this song a lot. So just hearing it live is always something that piques my interest. I think the chorus here sounded really great. The guitars rocked the whole time. Like they just stood out in terms of the intensity, and the riffs on the song really translate well to a live performance. And Screamy Kenny or Screamier Kenny, I always think is awesome. So I'm always there for it, and this song gives you that.
Yeah, he this track number 4 in the set list, Kenny kind of starts talking to the crowd a little bit. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We're the starting line from right here, here in Philly. They started with 3 older songs. Now we get the titular track off their newest album at the time. We all know they got a little less poppy as the albums progressed, and this one is certainly a harder track. You mentioned it's cool for Kenny to do a little shouting. mixed in like these the keys in the chorus. They sound really good. I just kept thinking about the keys. I'm like, I don't really think about them when I'm listening to it like live in the house. I don't know how much they come across, but you hear it on the recording. They sound fantastic. In terms of all of the discography, this is not necessarily my favorite Starting Line song, but I like it a lot. And I did make a note, by this time, the sweater vest has been shed, and he is just wearing a long sleeve kind of button down shirt at this point in time.
What's the point? I mean, 4 songs in and you ditch the sweater vest.
It must have been fucking hot. Really hot.
Maybe it was just to get a couple pictures with the vest on, and then you're done.
That vest, it was time for it to up and go, my friend.
Yeah, so go ahead. I mean, this one is a layup.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I mean, this is my era. This is a song that kicks off Say It Like You Mean It. A great guitar intro. Again, keys sound fantastic on this recording. You can really hear the crowd singing this one behind him, like more than anything that we've heard so far. Some slight changes in the delivery, which are great. One thing that always bugs me, I know you don't like clapping necessarily. One thing that always bugs me is when bands have the audience clap, they always clap too fast. Like it doesn't like sync up properly. And
it gets worse.
Yeah, we see that here. Or we hear it here. But when we get to the part where the crowd is doing, I guess we'll never know, it's super, super loud. And they actually usually let the crowd do a few like at the end, I guess we'll never know. What? I guess we'll never know. Like they do it a handful of times. But this time they just go straight into the next song. But nothing bad to say about Up and Go.
Nothing.
It's
straightforward. It's a great track. I love this one. So, and I guess what I'll talk about is, track 5 songs in. I don't think this is a bad spot for this. I think that it's appropriate where it is. Like this could be a song that they use probably like later mid set, but
it could also be an opener.
It could be an opener as the opening song. I think they have so many choices, obviously more so now than they did then, but Up and Go, I think, you put it here in the, let's say like the first quarter, like the end of it's not even the end of the first like third of the set list, but it's getting there. It doesn't really matter. I think Up and Go could go anywhere and it would be great. This one could, even potentially be towards the end. I wouldn't say it's the last track, but you could even put this one as a song before the last song, before the encore, just to get people, hyped up. Hit them with a pretty strong one, like two strong ones in a row, Up and Go, and something else. Then come back with something a little bit more muted, and then hit them and send them home with something amazing, like they kind of do here. But can't go wrong with this track.
No.
Inspired by the dollar sign, we'll call it. This one actually I am less familiar with. This is based on a true story. Yeah. So I have no connection with this one. I'll just be completely honest. No nostalgia. I probably listened to it in the past, but it's not memorable to me. So nothing really of note other than I thought it was, it was fine to listen to. I probably would be a little bored at this point. Like if I'm thinking of myself at this concert now, I probably would not really know the song, so kind of be a little bored.
Yeah, and well, this is the first song from Boats in the set. Get to the point. It's a good song, but it's not like in the top tier for me. I think that it does sound great in this setting. You have a little more of like, Ken shouting. You get some crowd clapping. You see some pit action in the video. One thing that stood out to me that I didn't notice before when I've listened to this album in the past is he says, those fucks that I'm climbing up the ladder. I never noticed that. This is, I think during this album era is the time when Starting Line became, I don't know if jaded is the right word, but aware of the bullshit in the music industry. And that really did kind of come out in their songwriting. And that change in the lyrics inspired me a little bit. And I figured it out there. So again, not in my top tier, but I enjoy this song. I don't think I would be bored, but it's not like a favorite or anything like that.
I'd be bored.
You'd be bored.
I'd go get a drink.
Yeah, that's okay. You got to be able to go get a drink somewhere. And good segue. Next one is "Are You Alone" from Direction. So this is one of a couple like slower songs. I'll call them, like, although when you hear it live, it's actually like a harder, slower song. Like, it's slower paced, but the guitars and the drums are still really hard. This is the one where I would probably go grab a beer. In the crowd, it's not like a banger, like it's like running through me and I'm feeling it. It's kind of like just a sit back and enjoyer, kind of like watch. Again, it's a good song, but it's not one that I don't think anybody like really gets into hard, or they're like, they better play "Are You Alone?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, like there's songs and sets where you don't know them, you kind of know them, but you kind of just sit through them, and you enjoy yourself because they're decent tracks, but you don't feel it or you don't get into it. So this is probably like another one of these. I think versus the last song though, I thought this one was much better in a lot of ways. I thought it was a really powerful song. Obviously mid tempo, so it's not going to get anybody's energy up, but it sets an atmosphere. And I bet you this one, comes off great live, in terms of setting an atmosphere. So if I was a little bit more familiar with this one, I think I probably would get a little bit more into it. But I think it has some really killer guitar riffs for sure. And I just am curious, like, looking at the crowd, what does the crowd do with these mid-tempo songs? I mean, do they just kind of sway, or do they
just kind of rock a little bit?
There's people like throwing themselves up and doing crowd surfing during songs like this. It's kind of weird. I don't know. And you don't do a pit because it doesn't fit. This is one of those where it's like people kind of don't know what to do other than just stare at the screen, stare at the stage, and maybe just kind of look, which is okay. You think you probably have some of that at a concert. It can't all be just 1,000 miles per hour all the time with most bands. I'm sure there's some speed metal out there where you do that, but this isn't one of those bands.
No, this is a calmer time right now.
And they do have some calmer songs.
2 in a row.
So the Drama Summer, Steve. What do you think about it? What do you think about that? You like that song?
I like the song. Mm-hmm. It's your turn to go first.
Yeah, I know. But I can go first by asking you a question, can I?
Absolutely.
It was in my notes to ask you that.
It's on Say It Like You Mean It, so you got to know that I like it.
Well, he asked you that question too. I started mine off with a question because Kenny started things off with a question about, do you like our old stuff? And I'm sure a lot of people said yes, right? If they would say no, or you'd hear a lot of boos, like boo, do you think he would go to something different?
Probably not. He would say something clever.
This is a sing-along special, ladies and gentlemen. This is what a lot of people, obviously, in the crowd wanted to sing along to, because they definitely did. I would imagine, and without really knowing, this has to be like one of the cult hit favorites of the band, is the Drama Summer.
Maybe.
I would imagine. So I've heard more than a handful of people bring this up when talking about starting lines. So
really?
I bet it's low key, like very popular.
I think this is one where like nobody would ever bring it up in a conversation, but the moment they start singing it, whether it's 2008 or 2026, everybody in the crowd is going to sing along anyway.
Yeah, and I think they did a pretty cool effect here where it was pretty much just Kenny. I don't know if the guitarist on the left side was part of it too, but the focus was on him. I didn't hear any drums or anything, so it's kind of one of those stripped down performances. And I love that stuff. So when you take everything out, you just have one thing going. It changes the mood of the show. it just changes courses and it gets my attention back, especially after a couple songs that I was kind of not into. I'd come back from getting my beer, I'd be in the crowd, I'd be like, all right, here we go. Like, that's cool. And this is the song where I noticed that he was no longer wearing the sweater vest. So that's where I noticed it.
Well, we're definitely still within the slower portion of the set here. Ken stops to thank the crowd. He throws a little shade onto Eugene, Oregon. And again, this one is definitely a slower one. Sometimes it's just fully acoustic. Like this time they're plugged in, but it's basically just Ken. Ton of crowd participation. I love when he extends, try and look through the gray skies in your, like, you never know when the your eyes is going to end. Like he still does that when they play that now. Again, it's just the lore of having a lead singer, a lyricist who is going to do something a little bit different in concert than he is on the record. And on the DVD, on the performance, do you know who's crowd surfing during the slow song?
No.
Did you see our friend? Our friend is crowd surfing during the song in the DVD.
Who's our friend?
He's Pooh, or he might go by Greg, but you can see Pooh crowd surfing, and that's him 100% on this DVD. Shout out to Greg. Shout out to Pooh for getting on this DVD. He's been to he might be the person who's been to more starting line shows than me. Really funny that I'm watching this now and remembering, and I'm seeing Greg, who we've had on the show, and I see him at concerts and stuff. And I got to send him a text and tell him we shouted him out. But the song is a very pretty song. It's fun to hear live, and I like to sing along to this one more than like Are You Alone? Personally, that's my take.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I think that I would buy that. I would buy that. I think the Drama Summer is a much better song.
Okay. Well, I sold it. You bought it. That's it.
Yeah. I bought it before you even said it.
Yeah. And I'm surprised you didn't see Pooh, considering you watched it. I thought you would have peeped him out.
I didn't see him, no. Was he not wearing the costume?
Oh, no. He's wearing the costume. That's the only way I would recognize
Even
him.
like the mask? Is he all pooed?
He doesn't wear a mask, but it goes over his head. It's kind of like a...
pajamas.
Yeah, similar to something like that.
And it's early enough where I bet you it was still fairly fresh in terms of how it smells.
By 2008, I bet it still did not smell good.
Didn't he say they cleaned it all the time?
I think he had it dry cleaned, baby.
Once?
Often.
Often enough. That was we talked to him a while back, so I can't remember, but all good. All right. Well,
it's my turn here.
We're back to Ready. Are you ready?
Ready. I'm ready for Ready. This is off of Boats, based on a true story. Again, the crowd is clapping too fast here. We're continuing the slow portion of the set. This song is just really pretty. It's really simple. It has the ability. It builds as the song goes on and ends. It starts very soft and ends very strong, and we get the ba ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba doo ba dib doo ba dee ba da ba dee ba da ba doo ba da ba da ba dee ba da ba. Like it's fun to do that live and to see and to hear Ken doing that. It's
called scatting.
Okay, thank you for the definition. It's a really strong live song, and you can hear the crowd super into it, especially on that last, like, gonna get ready, like they're just screaming it. This is a great song.
You never heard of scatting before?
No, I have. I just wanted to say the ba ba da ba da ba doo ba doo doo. I like to say it that way better.
How about the scat man?
I don't need to define my things.
Yes, you do. You do that all the time.
I love Scatman because it was from that movie Nothing to Lose, which not a lot of people know, but that movie is
I'm one of those people that don't know.
It was with Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence.
Oh my God, that sounds awful.
It was really funny. It's a comedy. You should watch it.
Really funny is what you say.
I'm a scat man. Skibidi-bidi-dip-dip-dip-dip.
So you're telling me a Martin Lawrence and Tim Robbins movie featuring Scatman is a funny movie? All right, I'm listening. I'm watching
Scatman,
this.
not featuring it, but including it.
He's in the movie. Like
No.
the
The
Scat Man
song.
is
The
in there.
song is in the movie.
Oh, I
Go
definitely would
watch.
have watched it.
You should watch Nothing to Lose.
I'll-
It is an
I will watch
underrated
it.
comedy.
I'll watch it.
Tim Robbins is funny.
Let's watch it for the show.
All right, maybe we have a Patreon episode in us here.
We should watch it live and do live commentary.
If you could figure out how to like record that, we could do it.
All right. All right.
Make
Where
a
are
note.
we at here?
Put that note here. Oh, it's your turn on Ready.
Put what note?
Make a note that we want to watch a movie live together and record it.
It's that movie. It's not a movie. It's that movie.
Just make
That's the first
make
one.
the note. Make the note.
I made the note.
I didn't see your hands move or anything. You're just
How do
sitting there.
you can't see my hands? How would you know
I could see
that?
if they were moving.
Am
I could see
moving my hands
shoulder.
now?
I could see shoulder movement if you were
Like
writing
this?
or typing.
When I write again.
There's small movements when you write or type. Chris is scatting now. Okay.
I'm the scat man. All right. What's it called? All She Wants. What's the name of the movie?
All that she wants is another lead.
That's not. What's the name of the movie? I'll Be There. What's the name of the movie? What did you say?
Nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Yeah. You don't know. You just said it.
I thought you were talking about when he goes, all that she wants is another baby.
I don't know if he says that. Okay. I wrote it down. I put a circle around it.
He does say that. I'm pretty sure it's the song too.
I don't really know what I need to say about this one. I'll tell you what, like I like this as a last track on Say It Like You Mean It. I think in terms of the album version.
You're on the wrong song.
The Ride.
No, we're still on Ready.
I moved on. I think that you touched on all my points.
Oh, you were just totally moving on. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I didn't. The only other thing that I would have said about Ready is the fact that I really like the screaming keyboardist part. Did you note that?
Where the
He does some
keyboard
screams in the background.
Yeah. They do. I'm telling you, every member of this band sings.
Well, I mean, you can't lose with a keyboardist that screams.
That's right. All right, I'll let you move on to This Ride now. You didn't say, like, I'm moving on to This Ride.
Oh, it was just organic. It was an organic.
I thought you just looked at the wrong part of your notes.
No, sir. No. So I just think this was an enjoyable track to hear live. I don't know if he did anything different than what the song is, but I just thought, and the other thing, let's talk about placement. So it's a little bit further than the halfway point of this show. You put The Ride in here. I think you're coming up after, a couple slow tracks. I don't think this brings the energy back just yet, if I'm not remembering correctly. But definitely another just great song of these three songs in a row that are kind of in the middle of the set. So I love this selection. I love 8, 9, and 10 here. I think it was they're right where they need to be, and I really think they were the right choices for if you're gonna set a mood. These were good ones to pick.
Well, you're really wrong about one thing. Like, this 100% brings the energy completely back after Are You Alone, The Drama Summer, and Ready. Like, this song is the way to infuse hyper energy into a crowd. 100%. This is where we pick it back up. This is one of my favorite final tracks of an album, maybe ever. Everything about this song just kills. The keyboards, the crowd participation, the vibe of the song, the guitars, the drums, the vocals, the harmonies, the scream. This fool is through. 10 out of 10, 5 stars, 2 thumbs up, all the things. This is the way to get back into it after you've done a couple of slower songs.
Well, how am I wrong? What do you mean I'm wrong?
You said it doesn't quite get the energy back.
Well, the only reason I said that is because in my notes I have the next song as the energy song. So I don't know why I didn't. There had to be a reason why I didn't write that down. I mean, is it really that up tempo?
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't write it down. I don't know why. Like, it didn't resonate to me like that.
100%. This is the energy. And listen, the next song is Bedroom Talk off of Based on a True Story. And this also has a ton of energy. I think that most people either love or hate this song. It was pretty funny hearing a wedding couple karaoke this as their first song together. When I was hanging out with the emo band dudes, I'm gonna tear your ass up like we just got married, and grandma and grandpa are in the corner. But it was fine. Honestly, yes, the chorus lyrics are a little silly. I'm gonna tear your ass up like we just got married, but the song is really, really good. It's kind of the perfect transition from say it like you mean it starting line to based on a true story starting line, but not quite direction starting line. I hope that makes sense. Maybe. Where's Sam? Sam would back me up on that. It's funny when the crowd the camera pans to the crowd during the song, you see like all these kids singing along, and they have like their Nikon digital cameras there. Like it's not camera phones yet. It's like digital cameras. I love that era. So I'm on the love it side of this song for sure.
You had to have room in your pocket for your digital camera, and
They were kind of small, but yeah.
you had your phone too. I mean, 2008, 2009, people had the phones. Obviously, no smartphones just yet, but I think we're getting into the flip phone, definitely beyond the Nokia phone. So, I mean, but I do remember having a very bulky digital camera
Yeah.
that would not fit into my pocket. Like, there's no way.
Nikon Coolpix.
It was a cool Pix. Yeah, it's what I had.
I had one of those too.
I think I bought it for the wife, and I don't think she ever really used it. So I used it, but that was it. That was what we had. Cause pictures off of our flip phones were not fantastic. They were very bad.
I
We still
I
took
remember
them. We
there
still
were
took
some,
them.
yeah.
And I probably still have some somewhere, but yeah. So I think this, I put down crowd surf song. There must have been a lot of crowd surfing going on during this one. Like one person after another, just crowd surfing, just jumping up there. And there's actually a pretty funny crowd surfing note that I took later in this show. I'll bring that up then. But there was I have another note here, Steve. It says energy but no pit. So I wonder if there was no pit, but it was a very energetic song. I know you don't have to have a pit for every single song, but maybe that surprised me. This song did have an overabundance of clapping, so definitely disqualified because of that. And yeah, that was it. I think that for whatever reason, I put here that the next song got a huge pop. So I feel like for some reason, and maybe it wasn't enormous, like just a roaring. Pop is the word, but like roaring applause or people getting crazy, but it definitely was there when they transitioned from this one to the next one.
All right, well, go into the next one then.
A Good Night's Sleep. This is the one that I noticed right away that the clapping was way off, by the way. So
yeah. So many times.
I don't know what it was about this one in particular, but this one I was like, okay, what are we doing? If we're gonna be clapping, like you guys can't even get close. This had a very strong instrumental start to it. So I think for a live crowd, that sounds amazingly great. Just very strong guitar riffs, and you instantly just get into this one. I love this song, by the way. This is such a great track to me. I feel like this one could even close a set. It's so good. That's that strong in my opinion. So I particularly like when Kenny's singing, and I think mostly everything else drops out, but he does this one riff and it just kind of reverbs, like, when you have an electric guitar and you do a riff and it stays, but he continues to sing even over that note that still continues on, like even with his arms out and he's not strumming the guitar. I think it's pretty cool. So he does it a couple times as it's just him and the camera's on him. And was one of my call outs.
He plays bass, so he's not singing over the guitar.
Yeah, but he strummed the guitar that he
Gotcha.
had.
The
So
bass guitar.
it's still a guitar, Steve.
Yes.
Hmm.
Clarification.
It's I said nothing incorrectly.
It's next to godliness.
I was completely right. Had not to get such a cool vibe. Yeah. So my last thing was just kind of reiterating the fact that I think it really just set up a really cool vibe here. I don't know how you don't get into the song live. I think that was my other note, and I fully stand behind that. This one is out of this world.
I made a note exactly the same as you, more bad clapping at the beginning, but the song starts absolutely huge. On the video, we get some of Ken's kind of dance moves while he's singing here, and overall, this is just a killer song. Nothing in particular to point out about the performance itself, but just as a lyric, I won't sleep a wink to prevent dreaming of you. God, that is a killer, like early starting line lyric. Like this dude's like 18 years old writing that lyric. That one was good. That one is good. It stays with me. All right, we'll keep it moving. We now go to Surprise off of Based on a True Story. I always loved the lyrics of this song. Let me describe to you this guy. His name is Ken. He's in this band and he writes such awful songs about me all the time. You're goddamn right. Honestly, just that lyric makes this probably my favorite song from Boats. And then there's also like I'll be your friend in hell, until then I'll despise you. In this live performance, Ken asks everybody to spread out, come together, and form a circle pit, and you can see it in the video. There's another poo sighting in this one, and the harmonies in this song are just top notch. I love Surprise.
I think it's really tough to follow up the last song, "A Good Night's Sleep," with anything at the same level and the same caliber. So, kind of took this down a couple notches for me. I think the beat, the pace here, the tempo, like it helps. I think it's not it's not a down tempo song that would kind of drag things down. It's more of an upbeat. So I was good with that. He wanted a circle pit in this one.
Yep.
Like I don't what's a different, like why can't we just do mosh pits anymore? Why are we gonna do, what's a circle pit? Like do we just like run around in a circle?
Yes, essentially.
I don't know. I don't get that. Like
I
why, who cares?
It's a little less aggressive, but it's visually more appealing probably from the stage.
Why do you want to run in a circle though?
Again, it's just a cool visual probably from the stage to see these people, like to see everybody running in a circle and
If you're gonna do a
dancing
pit,
and
you might as well
stuff
just do
as
a
they're
mosh pit.
going. Mosh pit people are just like smashing into each other.
You don't have to do it like real aggressive. You don't have to do like a super aggressive mosh pit. You could just like
No, their mosh
pump.
pits they're just the right amount of aggressive.
Right. That's why I never really got the circle pit thing. I thought it was kind of dumb, but that's why I would just be like, I'll step away from that. Sorry, Kenny. People can do it if they want, but it's not for me. I guess just like with this one, this is another one I'm not as familiar with, so maybe that's why I didn't love it as much. But I'm not saying it's not an enjoyable track. I think it has some decent sound to it, and it has some screams as backup vocals. So can't 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 lose with that. But I don't know. I just it's hard for me to come off of one that I really liked into another one that I kind of liked.
All right.
And yeah, you I guess that's me. So something left to give. Where are we at here? Hey, it's the first time they played this live, and it sounded like 10 people screamed about that. So
That's
I heard
exciting.
10. I heard at least 10 people like get really excited about it. So this one, and I didn't look this one up. What's this one off of?
Direction.
Okay. So, as I said before, not as like hugely familiar with Direction, like all the songs, but and this is one of them. But I ended up really liking this track. It's a little bit more low key. Musically, again, it's fine. And then he had a bunch of dudes on stage singing. I don't know who they were. I think one of them had a tambourine.
Yes, true.
Do we know who those guys are?
No, I get the impression it was most likely one of the opening bands. I don't know what the dudes in Bayside look like. Maybe it would have been them. It could have been anybody that was opening.
Okay.
Bayside, 4 Year Strong, Steel Train. I don't really know what everybody looks like in those bands, so I would assume, because it didn't look like it was fans. It looked like they were part of the show.
Got it.
My turn.
It is.
Yeah. So you mentioned he mentioned they hadn't played the song before this tour. It's kind of a whimsical, fun, like jammy song from Direction. The beginning is just Ken, but the band comes in after like a minute or so. The end is a lot of the it's not in my top tier of starting line songs, but obviously the song does mean a lot to them. So I'm fine to hear it. And yeah, I also had the same note that like some people get on stage and kind of do those background things, but don't know who they are. Probably opening band.
Okay, go ahead. Talk about Island.
Yeah, we're in a Direction era here in this song, in this part of the set list, and Island is the next one. Kenny says he's taking our ass to the beach. Well, he actually mentions, are you going down the shore? That's what people in Philly say. If you're going down the shore, that means you're going to the beach. So he says he's taking our asses to the beach because the summer is too far away, and he busts into Island. This is, excuse me. This song is just like a perfect kind of like starting line / Vacationer, like preview as to what we're going to get with Vacationer, like a mashup. Ken sounds great. The crowd is into it. I love the piano parts. The chorus is just huge. By the way, they talk about the song on Krista Makes a Podcast, and I loved hearing all about like how it was written and all that good stuff. They literally have somebody playing like congas or whatever they are, I think. The harmonies in this one are just ridiculous. I'm a sucker for harmonies. Matt Watt is got the ahs in the background. It sounded fantastic, so I loved it here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this song at all. But
really?
I get what you're saying. Like I understand all of those things. And musically it's probably pretty well put together. Musically it's probably something that a lot of people really love. It just isn't for me. It doesn't connect with me. There are bongos. And they did have the close up on Ken tying his shoe.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Got to tie your shoe. I think that had probably nothing to do with the song.
Double knotted.
Wonder if that was built into the show.
Probably not. I think his shoe was just untied. So do you not like going on vacation to islands? Is that the thing? Or
I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Right? I know you like the beach. You used to go to Ocean City, Maryland a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not an island though.
No, it's the water. Do you like islands? Have you been to many islands?
I've been to many islands.
Which ones?
Bahamas.
Okay.
Hawaii.
Ooh, you've been to Hawaii? That's cool.
I've been to Puerto Rico.
That's an island, yeah.
See? All these islands.
That's multiple. Okay, I'll shut up.
The Isle of the Dogs.
The Steve Isle.
Yeah. Your name popped up on my car when I was driving, and my son was like, "Hey, it's Steve." He couldn't say it.
Yeah,
he just couldn't say it.
It's not an easily pronounceable last name. It's okay.
But listen, I don't know. I want to like it. I think it has some good stuff. I get the intensity. I get the emotion. I get the song. I just can't connect with the guys. So maybe someday, not today.
All right, look at us. We're almost through this.
And I don't think
This
a
has
live
gone
version
quick.
of it would make any difference. Sometimes how like you get amped up about songs, maybe you don't care, like, you don't really pay attention to it. I think you have to have something happen where you have a connection with the song, and then when you hear it live, it sounds even better. I don't know if I've heard a song live for the first time, or this isn't the first time I've heard Island, but a song live, or I haven't heard a lot, that it made me excited. That I was, it rarely happens, Steve. Like I feel like I have to have a history with a song first before I get really excited about hearing something. There have been unique circumstances where that hasn't been the case. Like, I'll give you a good example with State Champs. I think their live performance may have been what sold me on State Champs. Like, and I did see that YouTube video of the medley with Neck Deep, and it probably had something to do with it first. But hearing them live in songs I really hadn't heard a ton before, it sold me on them. So there's exceptions, but I think this is one of them that just doesn't fit that for me.
State
So
Champs coming to Four Chord Music Festival 2026.
I'm not saying it's impossible to go and see something live and be turned on by the song and say this is great. Like, I want to hear more of this, but I just think it happens less for me. I don't know if you have a similar experience, but I will move forward. So we are at Somebody's Gonna Miss Us. Titular, Steve.
In many ways.
Not titular for the album that it's off of. Back to Direction again. We're back here for the first time, for not the first time.
Third song in a row.
But so a lot of direction stuff here. He mentioned it's the shortest set he's ever experienced. This set was an hour and 20 minutes total.
No, he said this is the longest set, but it feels like the shortest set because it's going so fast.
He said for the set, this is the longest set I've ever had. So you couldn't really hear what he said.
I think I got it.
I couldn't hear it. But it's the best place he's ever played, which I don't know if that's true. I don't think that's the truth.
What, in Philly?
Why would he say that? What about all the other cities? They're not the best place he ever played?
Or does he say he's talking to his hometown crowd? He's allowed to say that.
He says it to everybody.
He's allowed to say that. And
isn't he from like somewhere outside of Philly though?
Yeah, he's from the suburbs, but I mean that's considered Philly. I live in the suburbs.
Yeah, but you consider yourself from Jersey.
I do not at all. I'm not from Jersey.
He says it's the last song. He also says it's BS. Why even bother doing that then? Like, is he trying to be funny? Or I'm sure Ken would explain to us why he did it, but
I like that.
Why?
Well, he gets up there and he says, "This is our last song," and then he like kind of pauses, and there's some like crowd people like yelling at him, and he goes, yeah, that's bullshit." Like, on one hand, you gotta play the game. You're gonna walk off the stage, and then you're gonna come back. On the other hand, you can say it and then call out the silliness of it.
Why is it a game though? Like, it's to build excitement, but everybody knows that they're coming back.
In this particular case, absolutely. But like, there are a lot of cases where you don't necessarily know if they're coming back or not. Like, I've seen bands that end their show and you don't know if they're coming back or not.
You do. And this is why I'll refute that, because they'll turn on like the background music or like the stock music, or they'll turn the lights up, or there's always a cue telling you it's done. Like,
there are ways, but sometimes there's a gray area where they may come back out. I'll tell you, at the early November concert that I went to a few months ago, I thought the show was over. It seemed like it was over to the point where I started walking out, and then I was almost out of the venue, and they came back, and I walked back up and watched the rest of the show.
Okay.
But with this particular band, the same thing we talked about last week. There's no way that they're not doing the best of me. So like, it is going to be bullshit. Like, there's absolutely no way.
Well, plus, I mean, the lights were all off. No one was going anywhere. There was no signs of anything happening other than them coming back.
But he's talking about this before that happens.
And
he
he
says, yeah, that's
said,
bullshit.
yeah, well, I mean, he comes out and says it, which is fine. I know it's like, it's part of the show. He wants to be funny or whatever. That's fine. Ken can be funny if he wants to.
Where did this whole bullshit start? With like, we have to fake end the show.
Like, just,
and then
just
we're gonna come
break.
Back. Like, where did this? Because
it's an encore. I guess it's because like maybe back in the day, bands really were done. Like they said, okay, this is it,
and the crowd like, fuck you, I'm not leaving.
Wouldn't leave until they came back out and did another. It had to have been.
And then it just became this game.
So now it's a game where they're just like kind of taking a break. So in my mind, it's like, if you're gonna do that, just take a break, just take a water break, or just talk to the crowd or whatever. I mean, if you have to change guitars and you really do want to just sit down for 30 seconds backstage, or be like, hey, we really want to do this. Okay, let's do it.
Take a pee.
I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what they're doing. But which you can't blame them for that kind of thing. But it was BS because it wasn't the last song. So as a fake show ender, I don't really know about this one. I didn't really have any notes, so I guess it didn't have a lasting impression on me in terms of the song itself. I'm sure it was fine, but I'll defer to you on this one because I'm not really sure.
Well, you mentioned titular. It's titular in many ways. It's the name of this particular album we're listening to. It's the name of the tour. And honestly, it is just a true statement. Like, they made this song, somebody's going to miss us. And, you know, there are a lot of people that are going to miss them when they're gone, even though they did come back. They honestly, like, they really did decide to bow out as a band, just outside the song. They kind of did decide to bow out at the perfect time, because like in 0809, pop punk is about to hit this like big lull. Like, I love the concept and I love the sentiment of the song, but it's just not one of my necessarily like favorite songs. I did like when he called out the bullshit about it's going to be our last song, whatever. But I could have picked a couple different other songs to fake close the set with personally.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily this one.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. And so they come back, and Steve, you want to talk about the next song?
Yeah, so they come back and they do Photography from Based on a True Story. We do hear, again, we're listening to a recording of a live album. So we get the one more song chant, and he comes back and says, we're going to do 2 more songs. There wasn't too much of a lull before they came back, so it wasn't too crazy. And they start this like encore or whatever you call it with like a, you know, this is a real chill one. It's easy for the crowd to sing along to. It's one that easily could have the entire crowd with either lighters or cell phones in the air. I guess at this point in time, like, neither were really popular. Like, smoking cigarettes probably was on a decline. And I don't even know if cell phones had flashlights in 2008. Like, they probably did not. But I could totally see like all those lights on for, you know, I'll swing from the street lights and I sing, oh, oh, oh. It's a smooth, fun, chill song that definitely like picks up the pace at the end and becomes really like vibey. Like, I always loved Photography. I think this is a great song. But if I'm dissecting, if I'm making a set list, I would not necessarily construct the last song of the set list and the first song into the encore this way. But I'm okay with it as a fan. It's fine. I probably wouldn't make it that way though.
It goes back to the fact that if I go into this song and I don't know what it is, and I really don't know Photography at all, I'm listening to it, I'm getting bored. It goes on way too long, and they would lose me here for this song. I would just stand there. So I would say, okay, I guess I'm going to wait here for The Best of Me when it comes on next. But I don't know. This one just didn't. It's too jam bandy, too long, too much just nonsense. I mean, I guess again, if you're a fan of this album and you love the starting line like none other, and you've listened to this song before, like I get it. I think this would be one that you could get into. I just I don't know, but I I have a couple notes here. So I think in addition to what I said and the fact that this just isn't my jam, it drags on too long. I do admit though that I know for the show it probably makes sense to your point. I think that for those that, are fans of this track, I think it belongs here. I think it's a great song to kind of come back to and just jam out. So if you did like this song, I could see why they would put it here. And it's also a build up to the last one. So you don't want to have anything too strong in this spot because you want the crescendo to be your last song. So it's a it's a tightrope in terms of where you want to. It's a balancing act in terms of what you want to put here. But I didn't also note that there was a lull or something where nothing was happening. Oh yeah, it's when people were chanting one more song, and there's still people that are just jumping up and crowd surfing when nothing's happening, which is really just weird to me. It's like, come on, man! Like, what? Can't you wait? Can't you at least wait for the music?
They're living
Like,
their
what
best
are you
life.
doing? Like, ask somebody, get Pooh on the show and ask him if he's one of those people that just when it's just silent or they're chanting one more song, why are you crowd surfing? I'm not saying he was, but I'd love to know why. What's the point?
To have fun.
It's not fun. It makes me mad.
Sorry. Well, tell me what you thought about The Best of Me
I get
closing
it.
the show.
I mean, how could you lose here, Steve? I mean, I think we've waxed poetic about this song a multitude of times. We know what the gravity of it is. Hearing them sing it live is an amazing experience. It seems like Ken loves this song as much as we do. It seems like he's never really gotten tired of it. The way that he puts, everything that he has into singing it. So ultimately, again, like this is it's a great closer for what it is. Yes, it's a song you may hear all the time when you think of the starting line if you're just a tertiary fan, but man, do they know how to sing this? They know how to perform this, and it sends you off with a smile. And I think that's why it's just the best spot and the best song. So I'm great with it here, and I think it makes a ton of sense. And it's it's an amazing way to end the show. It just is.
Yeah, I mean, when you walk into the venue, there's no question what the last song that they play of the night is going to be. We all know what this last song is going to be. There's nothing really to say about the song that hasn't been said. It's fucking amazing. I love singing it at karaoke. I've done it for the emo band karaoke multiple times. I love hearing the crowd sing it back. It's always the last song in the set, and it's always fucking huge. People just go buck nutty in the pits. Like I've been at starting line shows where I'm being tame and just chilling, and then this song comes on last, and I'm like, I need to just get in the shit with all the people and get in there. And in this particular performance, I'm trying to think if Ken talked about it on our show or if I heard him talk about it somewhere else. I'm not exactly sure, but he mentioned that there was a point in time where they would just stop and he would let the crowd completely finish the song and they walk off. And that is what they do here. They let the crowd sing the entire final chorus while they just put their arms up and take a bow and they just walk off stage. It's a fucking pimp move. It's a great move. It pays homage to how great the song is, to how much the crowd loved the song. There's a lot of crowd participation even before this. The "and we whisper," like, we turn our music down and with the loud one, like towards the end of the song, you can hear how excited everybody is. Like nobody's got a voice left, but everybody is screaming out at the top of their lungs. And then they just walk off the fucking stage and let the entire crowd sing this song. And that's a statement way to close the show. I'm not mad at it. I think it's really cool. It's interesting. You never see people do that, but I'm glad this moment was captured, and we can watch it or listen to it, I guess on YouTube, or if you have the DVD, or if it ever comes back on streaming services, multiple times. So, I mean, there's no way you can go wrong with closing your show with The Best of Me. Absolutely no way.
Sure. Can't disagree with that. The question for you is, let's say they ended the fake show or the fake ending with this song. What do they put as the last song?
I mean, you would have to fix up. Obviously, you would have to totally change the set list a bit. I think that Greg's Last Day, This Ride, Bedroom Talk, Surprise, Surprise. These are some songs that could potentially be there. I don't think this would ever happen in real life, but I guess that would be my hypothetical
scenario. I didn't ask
scenario.
you for that. I just asked what the pick would be.
Yeah. I mean, I would do This Ride or Greg's Last Day, probably. Or Chris, I haven't said it out loud yet. They didn't play fucking Leaving. They didn't play Leaving on this tour.
Leaving would be great.
That is a goddamn travesty. That would be the closer. Leaving.
Why didn't they play Leaving? Why do you think they're not playing that?
I have no answer. I do not know why. They didn't play, and just going, and this is just Say It Like You Mean It. And listen, it can't be a full Say It Like You Mean It tour. I get, show. I get it. But they didn't play Saddest Girl Story. They didn't play Cheek to Cheek. They didn't play Hello Houston. They didn't play Left Coast Envy. But I honestly don't know how you do a starting line show and not play Leaving. Like that hurts me. That hurts me because that's like my favorite starting line song. Yeah, that's what would go there.
Last time you saw them, like in the new age, did they play it?
Yeah, definitely.
So you got what you wanted.
I mean, most times they play that song for some reason, and this was potentially their last one. Most times they play it. That time they didn't. That tour they didn't.
It ended up not being that. So now when they went away here,
and they played Leaving second to last, by the way. And they played Hello Houston. I'm talking about when I saw them this winter. They played Hello Houston, which was also left off this one, third to last. It was Hello Houston, Leaving, The Best of Me.
Were you pretty confident that you would never see starting line again, or were you of the mindset that, nah, this band's going to be back eventually?
It's hard to go into my brain, all that many years ago. I'm not totally sure. I would say, so let me take a look at after that show. What's the next? So that was 2008. Yeah, the next time I saw them was in 2012. They did a 10-year reunion of Say It Like You Mean It. So it was 4 years later. So I guess I believed them. I guess I thought that was it.
And it was for a while.
Yes. But then moving to Philadelphia, they decided to do like a once per year thing. And since I live here, that was, I was privy to that. So I saw them multiple times afterwards.
So even though you really wanted, you did want new music, obviously, as a fan, you still kind of got your fill because you were able to see them at minimum or once a year. You could see that you could hear the songs you wanted to hear. You got to see them once a year. So you kind of like didn't have a huge gap in that way.
I was very lucky as a fan of this band to be able to see them more than anybody else who doesn't live in this tri-state area could.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Steve, it's time to rank it. We got to go 3, 2, 1. No honorable mentions. So give us your top 3 in order. 3,
sure?
2,
no
and then
mentions?
1. No, we'll do it all honorable mention show someday.
Can I give a top 4?
Top 3?
Top 3. Okay, fine. He's so stringent on his rules, folks. All right.
You know what, Steve? You're more than welcome to post your honorable mentions in the Discord.
Thank you for that. All right, this not super easy because there's a lot of really good songs and a lot of really good live songs, but I'm gonna go number 3 is Surprise Surprise, and number 2 is gonna be This Ride, and man, like number 1, like it could be Greg's Last Day, it could be Given the Chance, but it's just got to be The Best of Me, especially in this scenario, hearing how he lets the crowd finish it.
Let's say there was a rule that said you could not rank Best of Me. What would your number 1 be?
Well, I'd probably, unlike you, where you do that thing where you just exclude the one, I would probably move up This Ride to number 1. Surprise Surprise would be number 2, and then I think Greg's Last Day would be number 3.
Okay. For me, it's A Good Night's Sleep at number 3. It's Up and Go at number 2, and then number 1's The Best of Me. But I would be somewhere in the vicinity of maybe doing the Drama Summer, because I really like that one too. But if we're leaving Best of Me in, and that's number 1, I'm with you. If we're not, then the top 3 would be a little bit different. It would be, I would probably put Drama Summer at 2, Up and Go at 3, and Good Night Sleep at 1.
So then why didn't you put Good Night Sleep above Up and Go?
Because it's a different list.
I never understand.
It changes the dynamic. It completely changes the dynamic of that.
But Leaving should be number 1, probably, even though they didn't play it.
It's not here.
I know. It's a travesty. It's a travesty.
But you, it seems like you were pretty happy with what the product was here.
Listen, these guys put on an absolute great show. Again, I've seen them 23 times. I've probably had years where I'm like, oh, that's the same set list as last year. Oh, they didn't play this or they did play this. But overall, like, I have a fucking great time every time I see this band. And the last time I saw this band, they had just come out with a new album. So there were, new songs involved. And to see the set list then, it was just, they're fantastic. And actually nowadays they're doing 22. The last time I saw them, they did 22 songs. So it's even longer than this set list.
But this was the longest set list he's ever done. He said so.
At that point in time, yes. Not anymore. I think they've just elevated to another level at this point in time.
Well, yeah. I think this one last final thought, and then we'll close it out. But I think this this solidifies the fact that I am a fan of seeing this band live too. I haven't seen them as much as you. Definitely not as big of a fan of the Starting Line as you are, and Sam is, and maybe some others. But there's no denying that you're right. They put on an amazing show, and I've never been disappointed with any of the times that I've seen them, even with the songs that I don't connect with or know as much. I think that I still walk away like feeling good about my experience. And I think back to several years back where I saw them at Four Chord, and I want to say they were like somewhere in the vicinity of Jimmy World. And again, I could be conflating a couple years together, but it doesn't really matter. When they came on, the show was amazing. It was out of this world. So, and I think that was actually, Steve, I want to say that was the first time I ever saw them. I want to say that was the first time I ever saw Starting Line live.
Maybe. I just did a search. They are my most seen band.
Yeah.
Them number 1, Newfound Glory number 2.
There you go. Is anybody else close? Can you bring anybody else to the level of Starting Line if you wanted to?
Probably not. I don't think so. This took years to accomplish.
We still have years left.
We do.
So let's just pick a band and let's get them above the starting line. See if we can do it. Pick a band. Taking Back Sunday. They tour every month.
Taking Back Sunday does tour a lot. I think I have seen them a lot. I'm going to see them pretty soon, actually. But
go.
I think
that's the band.
They're only at like 11, which is a lot of times to see a band. 11.
I want to know, like in 10 years, how that looks.
Well, my show attendance frequency is not increasing, to be honest with you.
It's even though, right? It's staying stagnant.
I mean, there was the college years and the post-college years. Basically, the pre-kids years was, that's what I would spend my money on. That was it. I would go to a lot of shows. Nowadays, it's a little more complicated. I can't just travel across multiple states to see a band. Sometimes I can.
You do,
but not always.
You still do that.
Sometimes, but it's not as easy. There's extenuating circumstances.
Life isn't easy.
It's not, but it's fun.
Life is fun.
Life is fun. Seeing Starting Line is fun. I got to see them again soon. I guess probably this winter. They do their Reconnect show in Philly. So it was really good last year, and I'm hoping it'll be good again this year.
Absolutely. And hey, Ken, if you're listening, hopefully you did. We really enjoyed the show. So thank you again for the show in 2009 and every show subsequently since then that Steve has been to or I have been to. And we look forward to seeing you again and maybe even talking to you again on this show. And hey, with that, we did it, right? We got through this album. Another show, ladies and gentlemen, is in the books. Somebody's going to miss us. This is a live album by Starting Line. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out. Let's go listen to it. And then maybe go back and listen to the show again and let us know what you think. Let us know if you agree or disagree with us. There's several ways you can do that. Not just on our Discord. If you're not a part of that, do it. Be a part of it. Be a part of the conversation. You can also give us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you have that, if you listen to us through Apple, written review will let us know what you think about this show and maybe any other of the High School Never Ends shows that you listen to. So go check it out. And if you don't want to write anything, you can give us a 5-star review to help the show. And don't forget about our shop. A lot of cool stuff there that you can buy with the High School Never End logo. Handy dandy link to that and a hub for all of our socials is simply put www.hsnepod.com.
That's right. From there, you can get to our Instagram, which is also at HSNEPod, like High School Never Ends Pod. You can get to our Discord, our Patreon, which is patreon.com/HSNEPod, where you get bonus content and episodes every single month and a preview on what we are going to talk about on the following month. And you can join us at a Starting Line show. We had a little High School Never Ends get together at the last one, and we'd love to see you again. We're going to be back again next week with another new episode where we're talking about a live album. And until then, keep on rocking your dad bods, throw up your rock hands, and blast the pop punk.
It's Dragon Wagon.